The late great Jerry Lewis was a comedic legend in the past decade. His movie The Nutty Professor was considered to be the peak of his career. Not only that he stars in the film, he also co-wrote and directed this film. I call that dedication to your work. The plot involves a geeky science professor named Julius Kelp, a generic nerdy guy who gets chewed out by his own dean and being picked on by his own students.
Naughty, naughty, naughty.
Now,
Teacher.
Well, no, you shouldn't be.
That alone I find funny. However, the way he's been treated, he decided to make a special kind of potion that turns him into the suave, cool SOB by the name of Buddy Love.
I know what you're thinking. Where's he been all my life, right?
For some odd reason, Julius had fallen in love with one of his students, Stella Purdy, played by Stella Stevens. It's kind of odd for a teacher to fall in love with one of their students, though I heard it's actually a thing. Well, to be fair, I'm glad that they actually set this in a college, or this will be creepy by no ends. Obviously, the movie is basically a parody of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Instead of being a scary monster movie, it's more played for laughs. I gotta say, some of the banter in this film really works.
Dr. Warfield, I saw young Phipps the other day. You recall Arnold Phipps was in my class that day.
Oh, yes, really? What did he have to say?
Well, he said he's feeling much better and that the bandages should be off in about 2 weeks.
Oh, well, come... Exactly! That's exactly what I mean. You are a menace.
Though there are some quiet moments that kind of slows it down a bit. One of the highlights is when Julius first took the cool potion. My god! He turns into a hideous ape! It does show a bit that this movie was going to go for the classic Jekyll and Hyde story. Though all things change when we first see Buddy Love on screen. I get that Buddy is supposed to be a take on Dean Martin, but I just don't get this guy as an asshole.
What'll it be?
Aw, that's no way to talk. What'll it be?
Though seeing him switching back and forth from the personalities is great, especially when Buddy does this.
Well, that's what I've been trying to get you to understand.
Actually, I've never had, what I mean is,
That's all that happens. He just bolted right out there. That's funny. The movie also has its take on physical humor. Like when Julius tries to work out his body, but he doesn't have the strength to back it up.
Here, enjoy yourself.
Okay, that looks a little too cartoonish. Though I can't help but laugh. By the way, Richard Kiel makes a cameo in this movie. Yes, Jaws from James Bond. Why? I have no idea. Also, there are some moments where Buddy just appears without any explanation. I find those moments unexpected. And I had to ask, why doesn't Julius transform into the monster again? Is it because of budget cuts or something? I have no clue. The big speech that Buddy gives at the end of the movie while he slowly changes back to Julius, I find that very powerful. Showing that you can't change the way you are, all you have to do is be yourself. At least Julius got the girl at the end without any gimmicks to slow things down. The movie did open for a sequel, and even Lewis wanted to do one. Sadly, that didn't happen. Though we did get a remake in 1996 starring Eddie Murphy, I think that the movie is as good as the original, with its own twists and turns. Though this version got a sequel and the original didn't, that just raises a bunch of questions. Though I don't want to overthink it. Overall, if you're into 60s comedy, I wouldn't mind you give this a look. Besides, if it wasn't for this film, we wouldn't have the remake that we all love. Now that I've seen this movie myself, I'm proud to call myself a Jerry Lewis fan.